Hello, people. Hello, people of the YouTube, and this is Jack. So here's the question: could Logan have been saved in the movie Logan, where he died, pretty much leaving then the gap for X-23, who in the movie is portrayed as his daughter, in the comics is clone? Could he have been saved if he had have gotten help, or could he have just been saved in general? First things first, I'd like to say that the adamantium was most likely not the thing killing him. Uh, it was obviously damaging him, but it was most likely not the thing that actually killed his healing factor. It didn't overtax it. His healing factor, there's two ways that it could have gone. That would be the what's it called? The purple virus in the comics, which pretty much took away the um, like mutants, their powers just took them away, and screwed around with them. Came in three phases, but that's for another time. And pretty much, yeah, that's one way that could have gone. Uh, and so pretty much, yeah. So he's lost his healing factor, and well, it's been greatly reduced because in the first opening, you do see him pull bullets out of his body just by like leaning over the bloody base and thinking like, get out of me, get out of me. Um, yeah, but pretty much he has a less healing factor, and that would probably be done by a very, very simple thing called mutations in the DNA. I'm just going to say it right now. Mutations in the DNA, they actually occur naturally most of the time, unless you're having gene therapy. And yeah, they have got gene tools, and they are what I'm going to be using to base this idea off. So pretty much, you've got like you've here like right now we've got pretty decent gene tools, like not high level gene tools, but like actually no, they're very high level. Um, uh, but pretty much I'm relying on the fact that in the future they would have much better ones where they can like pinpoint like the part of the cell with ease, and yeah, all that stuff. Xavier is probably smart enough to do it. Um, yeah, so pretty much his healing factor is gone because it's genetic. So after hundreds of thousands of millions of billions of mutations, then it's obviously all gone. And so pretty much, I'm just going to say it right now. He is taking damage to his DNA every single time he gets hit because his cells are regenerating, and that's why he's aging. And so pretty much, it all comes down to the fact is he could have been saved if he had his healing factor. If he had his healing factor, there's no way he would have died in that. And yeah, so pretty much, if you were to, let's say, I'm trying to think here. Yeah, so if you were to like, so in this movie, there's two different ways that you could get his healing, that he could get his healing factor back. Actually, yeah, so two different ways. Three, but I'm not going to go into that one because that would involve gametes, and that wouldn't really be as strong as what it was in the previous movies because it would only be half as powerful because it's only half his DNA. Yes, very, very dirty reference there. Do not take it like that. I'm not going to go into that one. But pretty much, so there's two ways. He could have gone to the scientists, in which case they would definitely not have helped him, or they would have helped him and then pretty much like brainwashed him. But he would have survived, and as you can probably tell, his memories would just be stored in his brain somehow. And yeah, although the way that I'm thinking is pretty much X-23 is a genetic clone of Logan. Um, Pretty much that came about because, well, not a clone in the movie. In the movie, it's his daughter. Um, but I'm going on the way that they have the same DNA. I'm just going to go off that basis. because her healing factor is slightly stronger than his was, judging from what I think I can see. It's healing faster, like her wounds are healing faster than what his was. Like in the previous movies, like it took 2 seconds for a scar to heal. For her, it's slightly faster than that. And so pretty much I'm thinking that the quickest way for him to actually get his healing factor back would be to take it. I'm not saying that he should do that like the guy in where Wolverine went to Tokyo or some crap like that. But I'm not saying that he should do it like that and try and steal an offer. I'm saying is it's pretty much simple genetics I'm going into right here. So I'm just going to say it right now. He takes some of her DNA and pretty much then he uses an enzyme to cut the healing factor part of the DNA out of her body into him. Pretty much then eventually over time, which would probably not take long, like a good 10 years, and then his entire skeletal system will be replaced, which is adamantium, which means it'll probably be done in a matter of days, depending on how fast or how much damage he takes. But pretty much that's how fast it would heal. So pretty much if he uses an enzyme to cut that part of her DNA out of one of her cells, only one of her cells, he doesn't even have to take that. You could get that from less than a drop of blood. Okay? And so much if he were to use an enzyme, like remove that from the cell, and then isolate the gene, then from her gene, if they were to then put that gene into into another plasmid or like another part of Logan's DNA where the healing factor was, like they cut it out and then they put her one in, then pretty much then his cells would divide and produce like more of the introduced gene, because that's pretty much a superior copy of it, and they would not have to worry about his healing factor going, because pretty much that healing factor cell, it is many times more effective than Logan's cells are right now. Currently, like it would actually spread through his body like malignant cancer. I do not mean that in any disrespect. But that is how fast the actual introduced cell would heal his body. He would actually heal pretty much within a matter of minutes. His entire body with his old healing factor, I believe. So yeah, in other words, he could have been saved, although no, he thought that adamantium, it's killing my body. I'm going to die. It's the adamantium. #adamantium did it. And so yeah, pretty much that's his idea on it. He decided to think, oh, it's just rust. That's what's slowing me down. There's nothing I can do to save myself, because I definitely haven't regenerated from a single cell of blood or a single drop of blood before in a couple of hours. #happened to the comics. But yeah, so pretty much, yeah, this is very simple about how it would have happened. It's like the simplest way I can explain it. But yeah, so pretty much, he takes the gene for healing out of X-23 or the girl, puts it into his DNA, introduces that cell back into him. His healing factor is restored, and his body will pretty much immediately fix itself. So he is perfectly fine. He keeps the claws, he keeps the powers, he keeps everything, and pretty much as long as Logan can keep on getting a new person with a healing factor, then all of the people with healing factors will be able to stay alive forever. That can be done through pretty much just reproducing and then taking the strongest healing factor, because that's pretty much what would happen. Since the DNA would be so close to his own, then his body would not treat it as a threat, much like it does with cancer. Actually, I'm starting to see why Logan's cells would be so bad in someone else's body. Um, but yeah, so pretty much, yeah. So in other words, he could have survived. Yes. Did he survive? No. Is it logical that he didn't survive? Yes. Um, I'm just going to say it right now. He has not way more DNA than us. Uh, yeah, but pretty much. So yeah, he could have just taken X-23's DNA without hurting her. And yeah, gotten that. And that's like something that a very, very smart university student could do, or college student could do. That is how simple it would have been, like in theory. I'm sure it would have taken more people for that. But yeah, pretty much, if he had just gotten it from her, then he would have been fine. He would have had a stronger healing factor than that other Logan, in fact, because pretty much so they're saying that it's his daughter in the film, and pretty much your like the DNA which you reproduce with, I believe that doesn't actually change over time. So in other words, his daughter would have a stronger healing factor than his body would from the, I believe it would 20th century on, or like no 21st century. So pretty much from the year 2000 onwards, he would have much less healing factor than he did in World War II, and in World War II he would have had much less than it would have been when he was when he just got his powers. Although pretty much X-23, she has got her healing factor as strong as Logan's from when he just got his powers. In other words, it is like healing that will never let you die. Yeah. So pretty much, he could have been saved. Involved X-23's cure. He did die, which is unfortunate. But I actually hold hopes high that he will come back. In another movie, or yeah, because yeah, I'll go into more detail on that in another episode. But yeah, so he died. Thank you for watching.